We'll continue from the last chapter because we only finished half. So it is chapter 37, Grihastha Dharma. This chapter describes the religious duties incumbent on a Grihastha. Very good morning. Jai Shri Krishna Guru. Thank you for joining Shri Guru Charitra Satsang. Wishing you all a very happy Wednesday. Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha, Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Om Shri Saraswataya Namaha, Om Shri Guru Dattatreya Namaha, Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha, Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Guru Charitra Satsang. So we stopped right after where we learned how to worship, what kind of puja has to be done, how do you, do the puja, why the puja is very important. All that has been explained yesterday. And if you don't remember, you can go listen to the satsang once again. So we'll continue from where we left. After the Deva puja and before taking food, we have to offer oblations, the Pancha Yajnas, which is Deva Yajna, Rishi Yajna, Pitru Yajna, Bhuta Yajna and Atiti Yajna. These yajnas absolve man of the Panchashuna sins, which everyone invariably commits while doing the daily chores. In fact, this particular Panchashuna sins is very beautifully explained by Baba, Sai Baba. We learnt about this when we did the Sai Satcharitra Poti. And if you don't remember, you can still go and listen to this one of the satsangs or read from the Sai Satcharitra scripture. Baba has very nicely, but not in detail, but he's just given an understanding why it is important that we do these offerings, oblations, what is the purpose behind it, and what are the sins that we otherwise also incur on a daily basis. These yajnas absolve man of the Panchashuna sins, which everyone invariably commits while doing the daily chores. So, it is extremely important that the reason why we offer first to the God and then we partake of anything as a prasad from him. Prasad means it's a blessed food or it's a blessed object by the Divine Lord Almighty. What they do exactly, why it is offered, the reason for offering is because we are incurring lot of sins. So Lord Shri Krishna or any guru or the great beings, the divinities, they are all the divine beings who are purity themselves. So when you first offer to the divine and then partake as a blessed food or a blessed object, whatever that comes back as an blessed object or thing, anything that may be, it is sinless. The moment you offer to the God, there is no sins accruing to it. That is why you have to first offer anything to the divine being and then only partake of it as a prasad. Prasad means it is a blessed food. It has come from the divine itself to you. In Krishna Ashram, first is we offer everything to our Krishna Guruji. We will not even eat anything unless and until it's offered to our Guruji, and only after he partakes, then we accept the offering as a prasad. When you offer it, it is supposed to be Naivedya. Naivedya means that is which is pure, and you offer anything. See, Naivedya, we are only talking about the food or any of the like fruits, sweets, all that is Naivedya. Even any object that you buy, it could be just a garment, it could be a phone. Everything is first offered to the Divine Lord, and after the blessing, then only we use that object. So it is extremely important when you use anything, it has to become sinless, because we don't know what kind of sins go by. I'll give you a very simple example. My Krishna Guruji, I don't know which satsang, whether it is in Bhagavad Gita or Uddhav Gita. I think it is Uddhav Gita, I can't remember. But in one of his satsangs, he was telling why it is important to be simple, live a simple life and wear simple clothes and not to have too much of greed or desires for anything. See, we want to wear some designer clothes. And please go back, identifying the source of where your goods has come from. You will you will either find it is made in Vietnam, it is made in Cambodia, or it is made in Bangladesh, or most important country, the biggest manufacturer in the world is China. So it has come from any of this one of these countries. And if you go look at the background, there are small kids working on those garments, or there are people who are literally being paid peanuts to stitch those garments, or whatever it could might be. And all those people's curses are there in that. Because you want to wear a fancy garment, those people are taking the brunt of it. They are suffering. One of the reasons why in spirituality we don't go and have any of these fancy garments, we don't wear any such things, is because we don't want to incur any sins. See, any garment that you buy, any product that you buy, it has lot of karma, curses and sins into that object. An example would be, again, there is this jacket which is made of some animal fur. I forgot the name of the animal, and I've seen a video in China how brutally they smash that animal on the wall, and they remove the fur out of it just to make a fancy, the jacket with the fur, or the stroll which is of the fur. It's supposed to be giving you a warmth. So these garments are in demand in the whole countries. But why do you need to take the curse of that animal? In next life, you will have to be that animal, and that animal is going to wear you. Would you like it? No, right? So why are we doing these kind of things? And that is why in spirituality we are taught simplicity, living simple life, that which is naturally available to us, that which comes naturally to you. See, whenever my Krishna Guruji, gives anything to us, that is sinless. So we will not go and buy without his permission. And only when he says, okay, go buy, you can buy, then only we will buy. Because if it is coming from his mouth, then that object becomes sinless. Please remember, anything, it could be even small, it could be even buying a phone. Just to manufacture that phone, it has come from some other part. There are so many different things are associated which we can't see. You don't know what has gone into making that one phone. There must be somebody who's digging for some particular metal or whatever that they're doing. They're suffering. They're all being made to work like that. Yeah, we might understand that is all perfect. Everybody's perfect in their places. But why do you want to get into karmic bondage with anybody? So the reason for having a simple living and not accruing any sins. So the Panchashuna sins this is in particular to food. But imagine garments and so many other things. On a daily basis, we are committing so many different kinds of sins and karmas. In fact, that is very nicely explained by Baba in his Poti. If you want to have an understanding, go read about it, and you can go do a lot more research in detail to understand what kind of karmas are those, what kind of sins are those. And that is the reason why we have to become desireless being. And if you take the great masters, you know what they do? They take alms. I have even explained this many a time. Why do they take bhiksha? Why do they go and take alms from others and then only accept that? And that is called madhukari. Madhu is sweet. Absolutely, it's the most purest form of food, because there is no sins accruing to that. There is no sin in that. There is no karma in that. You know why? When we go and take bhiksha, people offer food that which they don't need, which means they have already fulfilled their desire, and then only they're offering it to you. And when they have fulfilled their desire, what is offered is then extra, which is more, or they give it away. So in that there is no karma. It is desireless food that is coming to you. And that is the reason why these great saints go and take bhiksha. Even when they ask for money, you might give them 100 rupees, whatever, 1 rupee, 10 rupee, whatever is your capacity. And you might have millions of dollars, but your capacity to give might be just that 100 rupees. You know why? Because on that $100 million or whatever the wealth that you're having, there is desire of you. There is a lot of desires that you're holding on to it. Not just yours, but a lot of other people's desire is involved in that. But when you offer, even if you give 100 rupees, only that 100 rupees has no desires of yours. And that is why we say you need to have danath to give. Danath is the big heartedness, the quality of giving, that it has to come from within. And you don't get attached saying I gave. When you even say I gave, there is ego. You're still holding on to that object, whatever that might be. My Krishna Guruji taught a very beautiful lesson, and you know what? He will test all of his students in a very nice manner. Sometimes we offer certain things to him, and then he will just, You might have offered a Guru Dakshina to him. He will say, do you remember how much did you give me last time? And if you by mistake remember that amount and tell him, then he understands you're still having an attachment to what you have offered. You can't remember, you cannot have an attachment to that. You cannot say, I gave you so much. The moment you say that, you're already having ownership to that object, that money, whatever you might have offered. So, where is the question of offering then? It is not offering, there is your ownership in that. So, whatever you offer, once you have given, you need to forget about it. You cannot hold that ownership to any object. When you have given to the Divine Lord Almighty, He can do what He wants with it, and He can even take that and give it away to someone else. But if your ownership is there, that means you're still attached, you own that object. Then there is no point in saying, I have offered it to my Lord. This is how it works. So you have to become a desireless being and learn to live a very simple life, and live a life where you're not affecting or harming the environment around you. There is no need to have a fancy jacket which is coming because you have to kill an animal and then you have to adorn it. Would you even like to be on somebody else's neck if you are skinned like that, and then they say, okay, I want to wear you? You're not going to like it. So why should we do something to others which we don't want others to do to us? So that is the reason we have to stay away from these things. And most important, stay away from such desires. Even a leather bag. The animal is getting skinned, leather shoes, you name it. The leather itself is such a dangerous thing, because I've seen some of the most heart-wrenching videos of these animals getting skinned and being slaughtered. Why should we harm anyone in this world? We don't need to. We have to live in harmony. God has created this beautiful world so that everybody can live in peace. But you know what? The moment man has been created, he's actually a dog whose tail is not going to straighten, because his greed is insatiable. And it only keeps growing and growing and growing endlessly. God has given you that wealth, everything, so that we can distribute to everybody and live in harmony. Whereas what does a man do? He possesses. It is mine, it's mine, this is mine, ownership. So forget about spirituality. Spirituality is the last thing. You are actually sanctioning yourself many more lives being born. You've come in bondage with all those people who have incurred the sins with, and you are in karmic bondage, which means you have to be born as them and they will have to be born as you, so that you can repay that back to them. You don't need such a life. That is what spirituality teaches us about, how to perform nishkama karma, sinless action, and go on the path where God gives you that which is necessary for you. You don't have to ask, Guruji, I want this. Guruji, I want that. See, this is very important. Everybody comes with the desires, because this body has desires of its own. So, the Guruji will anyways grant you, but don't have too much desires where you're going to come back again. And most important, offer everything to the Divine Lord Almighty. Because when you offer to Him, that particular object becomes pure and sinless. That is what you need to understand. So even before you partake of the food, first you have to offer to the God. You can just say Krishna Arpan, whatever that God you want to. You can just keep some food aside and then partake as if you have offered to the Divine Lord Almighty. The yajnas absolve man of panchashuna sins which everyone invariably commits while doing the daily chores. The pancha yajnas are done through Vaishvadevatri. From the food cooked, a little portion will have to be first offered to gods, Pitrus, ancestors, Bhutas, Rishis and Atithis. And only then will one take his food. I explained to you, right? If you don't have a guru or you're not having anyone in your life, even if it doesn't matter, it's not necessarily need to have a guru, but if you at least believe in God, please remember, before you partake of anything, any food, first remove a little bit, keep aside and say, whatever, I say Krishna Arpan, but you can say whatever the name of the God you want, just offer to them and say thank you for this meal and partake of it. That is how we have to do. See, there is a reason why we have been given certain methods, how to worship, how to live, why do you get up at certain time, how to, do the pujas. Everything has a reason behind it. But we human beings have never made an effort to find out why should we do certain things in a particular manner. Why should we get up in the Brahma Muhurtam? What is the reason behind it? Why is it important to, be disciplined? What is it going to, do to us? What are the benefits of it? We have never understood. We have never even bothered to learn. And one is to learn, and second is to practice. And sadhana is a very important aspect. You know why? See, many years you might have been living with your parents and grandparents, everybody, and they would have pampered you. And when you go out to go for your studies, you will live in college, hostel, and there you get influenced by your friends and people you live with. So that what happens at that time is that you are not able to adapt to a lifestyle. Your lifestyle is quite messed up. So in spirituality we are taught how to adapt to a particular lifestyle which is prescribed in our scriptures, which will help us evolve on our path of spirituality and our own well-being. And it is very important to being disciplined, and disciplining is a foremost thing, and that is the biggest gap which anyone will have. Why? Because you can't become disciplined. Your mind is going to come strong. It's telling you you can't get up, you can't do this. Even this body goes through it. You think I don't go through? Of course I also go through. We all go through at some point in time, but someday you will have to reach that stage where you're able to break out of that tamas, that inertia, or whatever that your mind is trying to tell you. You will have to break out of that and become disciplined. Set an example for the world to follow. See, when you evolve, and like my Krishna Guruji says, to being a great leader is not easy, because you have to shoulder a lot of responsibility. That position demands that you follow certain things. It's not about preaching to others. It is about me living these lessons myself. It's like what Gandhiji has said, be the change you want to see in this world. We are not here to change the world. We are here to change ourselves. I have to become the better version of myself. That is the reason why we should follow these prescribed methods. So coming back, like I mentioned, from the food cooked, a little portion will have to be first offered to gods with three ancestors, Bhutas, Rishis and Atithis, and only then will one take his food, considering it as Yajna Sesha, the remnant portions of Yajna. After offering whatever is remaining, that is what you are partaking of it. If a guest happened to arrive, he should be welcomed and fed. Atithi is deemed to be as God himself in human form. Atithi Daivo Bhava, which means any guest who visits your place, you should always feed him. Never let a guest go without having something from your home, because we believe that the guest who has visited is God himself. So we should always greet them very nicely, no matter who it is, even if it is your enemy who visits your home. Please remember, you will have to take care of him, offer him whatever food to eat, give him something to drink, and speak to him in a respectable manner. It is extremely important. Do not disrespect anyone who is visiting your home, whether you like it or not. They might be behaving however they want. They are allowed to. But you, as a host, to whom house they have visited, you cannot behave badly with them. So this is again a very important lesson which we have to practice and we have to abide by. These are all the scriptural injunctions. It is extremely important if you want to evolve on the path of spirituality and attain God realization. See, just saying I am devoted to the Guru doesn't help, or you're saying I am devoted to the God doesn't help. You have to follow certain practices. You have to follow certain rules and disciplines which is taught by your Gurudev. Why is it important to live under a guru? Why do we have to follow everything that he teaches? So that you can become perfect, you can become disciplined, and you can set an example so that you can pass on this knowledge to the future generations. See, the guru himself is a parasmani, and what is he creating? He is going to create that one who will represent the divine being and others as well. Everybody gets to learn from the guru. So he is going to make you that parasmani. You are going to become him alone. And then what happens? And then you are going to create many others like that. But like my Krishna Guruji says, I need that one who can literally be the clay in my hands, whom I can mold. See, the moment you get your mind, ego and arrogance, then that learning doesn't come. That knowledge will never seep in you, and you will never be able to become perfect on that path. It is very sad, but this is the reality of life. Because when your guru says something, we want to disregard him, we don't want to obey him, we want to disobey him, and we'll say, oh, what does he know? I know too much. That is exactly what happens. Remember yesterday it is said, why do you think in Kali Yuga we are telling, okay, at least please worship idols? Here it is mentioned in the Kali Yuga, as men are not capable of cultivating and cherishing such exalted form of adoration towards the Guru and of identifying the Guru with God himself. We think the Guru is some ordinary human being. It is not. The Guru is Parabrahma. Guru Sakshat Parabrahma. The Parabrahma is manifested in the form of a Guru. So never ever forget this aspect. Who is this Guru? I will put a disclaimer here. I'm only talking about the real masters, the true Gurus. I'm not talking about the dime a dozen, the fake Gurus who exist in this material world. They are not Gurus at all. They are just donning a garb and they're doing their purpose. Again, they are perfect in their places. We are not even going and looking at that side. We don't want to go in that direction also. Our direction is very clear. We are only following the divine beings. So you need to stick to what your guru's ordain is. If he's telling you to do certain things, please follow. Yeah, it is going to be very difficult. You're going to sleep. You're going to, fail 100 times. But you know what? You have to make effort. Next, get up and still progress ahead. Keep going ahead. Don't stop. Just because you didn't get up, just because you are not doing some things, it doesn't mean you give up. No, this is what my Krishna Guruji teaches. It doesn't mean that even if I don't find that one, doesn't mean I've stopped trying. I have to keep looking out. Someday, I will find. That is what he says. What does it mean? That someday we will all become disciplined and we will evolve on that path. That is what he's saying. So he's continuing to do his job of teaching, telling, no, you have to wake up, you have to do certain things, you have to become disciplined, you have to do things in a certain manner, and we have to put effort. And he also perfectly understands that this is Kali Yuga and nothing can be done. Everybody is there's a virus of tamas in us, unfortunately, and we have all succumbed to that virus. The virus is eating within us, it's spreading the tamas all over us, and then it's not allowing us to get up. It's making us feel lazy, lethargy, inertia. And you know what, forget about even cooking. We'll sit and order Swiggy. Everything is Swiggy today. You don't even have to put an effort to go and cook. Nobody wants to cook today. There are very few people who want to cook. Everything is available on counter shelf. You just order and everything is there, ready made, available to you. That is the kind of luxury we are in today. So how are you going to put efforts? But my Guruji is very clear. At Krishna Ashram, he says, we will do everything ourselves. My Guruji will work with us. He will show us how to do things, whether it is cooking, whether it is cleaning, everything he will handhold us and teach us. So learning is important and practicing what you have learned is even more important. That is the way, that is the only way you will evolve. See, it is okay. I'm not saying you have to fail. I'm not saying you should make mistakes. No, that is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that, yeah, you're going to fail. You are going to make a mistake, dime a dozen. No doubts about it. But please remember, every time you fail, you still have to get up and run. There's no stopping. Someday you will hit there, right? That is the point is you have to strive harder. Okay, today this is what happened. I was not able to wake up. But next day, you can't say, no, yesterday I didn't. Oh, it's okay. Every day now this is the same story. And then continue to sleep. No, that's not allowed. So now you have to put extraordinary effort. Do something. Worship, seek the grace of the divine Lord. He will help you. He's always there ready to waiting for you. He's very much there to help you. So you put that effort and go ahead. Magic will happen when the Lord himself is this knowledge, when he is residing within your heart. Do you think he will not wake you up? Of course he will wake you up. On some cases he will say, okay, she's tired, let her sleep today. He's very compassionate being. In some times he'll say, okay, fine, today you sleep. Like sometimes my Krishna Guruji will say, no, today you don't get up because you worked late. That is exception. It is not at all times. But you know what my Krishna Guruji will say? Even if you sleep at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, you need to be up at 4 a.m. That is what it is. Can you do that? Do you have that much of strength? Do you have that much of capability? Yes, it is there. But can you overcome this tamas? That is the effort that you have to put. When you put that effort, let me tell you, he makes it magic. He makes it happen. So try, keep trying. Don't give up. Just because you are continuously failing doesn't mean you give up. You have to win. Your goal has to be towards overcoming what overcoming all your inadequacies. You have to overcome this demon, kill him, called Mahishasura, who's putting you in that state. Overcome. You know how to overcome. Seek the grace. Pray within, saying, Lord Shri Krishna, please wake me up. I want to get up. I want to meditate upon you. I want to be one with you. Let me tell you, why will he not do it? He will do it. See the magic. It happens. So have that faith and conviction, and it will work. So don't stop, and don't ever give up. Strive harder, and you will be able to achieve. So coming back, when an Atithi or a Brahmachari comes for Bhiksha, he should be offered Bhiksha instantly, even if Vaishvadeva and Naivedya have not been performed yet. Okay, this is another very important rule. Please remember, it is also believed that first, when we are doing puja or whatever that we might be doing, we have an habit saying, oh, we have to first offer the Naivedya, or whatever that offerings we have made, it has to only be offered to the Divine Lord Almighty, and only then we will offer as a Bhiksha. But here it is very clearly instructed, if you have not offered the Naivedya yet, or you have not performed the puja yet, when an Atithi is the guest, or a Brahmachari comes for Bhiksha, if they are coming for alms, he should be offered the alms instantly, even if the Vaishvadeva and Naivedya have not been performed yet. See, please remember, I think there is many stories like this. In fact, we did one in Guru Charitra itself, where Narsimha Saraswati comes in a disguise, and then he seeks alms. So this lady is in a dilemma. She doesn't know what to do, but the moment she sees him, she feels he must be some divine being, and with her gut feel, she offers it to him. And then Narsimha Saraswati reveals himself to her. He's very pleased with her devotion. So that is what you have to do. Here it is very clearly mentioned. So don't ever doubt, oh, I have not done the Naivedya, how can I offer the bhikshu who is waiting outside my door? So you cannot let any Atithi or a Brahmachari wait outside your door. You have to instantly offer them something. Please remember, see, God can come in any form to test you. So don't fall for any of those kind of tests, and not recognizing the Divine Lord Almighty when they appear. So follow these rules. It is extremely important. If the Atithi is pleased, all gods, all Pitra Devatas will be pleased. See, when Atithi is pleased, everybody will be pleased. One morsel of food given to them brings mountain-sized merit, and one tumbler of water offered to them brings an ocean-sized merit. Oh my God. What does it do? One morsel of food given to them brings mountain-sized merit, and one tumbler of water offered to them brings an ocean-sized merit. Please remember, this is the truth. And you know what? It's very sad. Sometimes when my Guruji visits certain places, he will not even have a glass of water. So one glass of water gives tumbler size, one tumbler of water offered to them brings ocean-sized merit. My God. So you do not understand the profoundness of it. But when the gurus are angry with some people, they're not angry, but they know that there is no goodness over there. So they are not going to partake of any of these things. Please remember, you should be extremely grateful if you have any of these great beings visiting your home and partaking of the food and having a glass of water in your home. You are actually blessed. But unfortunately, what happens? The human beings don't recognize that the grace that comes to them, and they destroy it with their own ego and arrogance, and falling into the self-conceit and the deceit of the mind. And unfortunately, they'll get lost into the ignorance. Even Baba can visit you and do everything to you, yet you will not recognize him. It's a very sad state, unfortunately. One who does not offer food to Atithi and eats by himself will be born as a dog or donkey in his next life. This is very interesting. See, one who does not offer food to an Atithi and eats by himself. If you don't offer anything to your guest and you're eating for yourself, please remember what you're going to be born in your next birth. You will be born as a dog or donkey in your next life. So be prepared for it. Strict silence is enjoined when taking food. Actually, before taking food, there are other oblations to be done and observed. Strict silence. Oh my God. But you know what? When your Gurudev is there, the one thing that he's doing when we are having food, or even during our breakfast table, though we'll all eat fast and the guru is giving you teachings at that time. He's telling you what is happening, what are the teachings. So you use the time when you meet with him on the dining table. He's there to give you certain knowledge. Like Baba also, if you remember, when they were all eating, Baba would eat, but at the same time, he's also giving certain knowledge. He's imparting certain knowledge. So, but otherwise, you have to follow strict silence. Most important, not silence of your mouth, silence of your mind. Because your mind is chatterbox. It's talking dime a dozen. It doesn't stop at all. It's prattle going on and it's going everywhere. It's running hither, thither, all over the place and making your life a hell. So don't let your mind talk too much. A circle with 4 cones, that is mandala, should be drawn with floor, and the plate of food should be kept on that mandala. A little food has to be kept aside on the right side on the floor as bali in the name of Chitragupta, and thereafter only should one eat the food. One should visualize that God seated inside him is eating the food, and that the food is also the Brahmin himself. How beautiful. What is he saying here? One should visualize that God seated inside him is eating the food, and that the food is also the Brahmin himself. The food is also the Parabrahma himself. See, it's very important. Everything is God. That's why we say you have to see God in everything. So here there's a mantra which has been mentioned. Brahmar Panam, Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavir, Brahmanhutam, Brahman Avittena, Gantavyam, Brahma Karma, Samadhina. Okay, I don't know whatever that means. You can go and Google it. Pranahuti and Asposana mantras are to be recited at the beginning and after the completion of taking the food. At night, when taking food, lamp should be lighted and one should not eat the food in dark. Moderation in food is also enjoined. Moderation is very much necessary in food. How many mouthfuls one should take as per the day of the fortnight, that is Chandrayan Vrata, is described. The types of utensils and plates to be used for taking food, the metals out of which they are to be made, their shapes are also described in some detail. There are also rules prescribed about drinking water, washing hands, washing eyes, face, etc. The auspicious sounds which one should hear, the sounds which are inauspicious, whose faces are auspicious to see and whose faces are not, are also described. Oh my God. See, this is a huge subject, okay? And it is very important. In those days, in the Vedas, it is detailedly prescribed. But obviously, Narasimha Saraswati is not going to talk all this about, but he is going to talk certain aspects, especially about food in moderation. What are the kind of types of food one should eat and one should not eat? I think he is going to describe that in detail. So let us learn what all that is. Sri Narasimha Saraswati teaches also about the types of food to be taken and those which are prohibited for a Brahmin. In fact, Lord Shri Krishna has also explained in Bhagavad Gita a complete chapter about what kind of food you can partake and what are the types of food does a Sattvic person eat, Rajasic person eat and Tamasic person eat. So everybody is, eating food based on their gunas as well. And if you eat certain kinds of food, what kind of guna you will get. So that is also very nicely explained. But one word you should always remember is moderation. Whatever that you might eat, you have to eat in moderation. That is all it is required. And you have to eat healthy, wholesome meal. Which means you have to eat all sorts of food. All sorts of means doesn't mean every day I'll go eat fried stuff. There are people in this world who might be very sick. They'll say, I only eat so much. I'll only eat 2 chapatis. But you know what? They will snack throughout the day. They will eat that which they like more. And there is no control about what they eat and how they eat. There is no discipline they follow. But according to them, they are very perfect beings. You know what? Oh, they have a perfect regime. They eat very healthy. They have a healthy life. They'll drink all the garbage possible that is available on shelf that's available. Some amla juice, some blueberry juice. I don't know what all nonsense they will drink without even having an understanding what that is all about. Has your doctor ever prescribed you that? No, but they are doctor. In fact, these people are qualified. They will tell the doctor how what medicine they need to. Doctor has to prescribe to them. Such are the people. And then who can save you? Even God cannot save you. Please remember, you are going to go into the gutters. So please listen before you do something. Understand the subject in detail. This is what my Krishna Guruji teaches. We are all very superfluous people. We have never bothered to go and study. Why should you eat something? Why should you not eat something? We have never bothered to understand what is the right way to eat, what's the right way to live a life. Here the guru gives you that knowledge, gives you that understanding. Why is it important to live in an ashram to and learn what kind of food is given in an ashram? This is the reason. Please remember, people don't understand, people don't value. They'll all come and have a garrel stack, they'll just make fun of it, talk whatever they feel like. No, it doesn't work. There is a reason. Even the guru is talking in jest, he's telling the truth. Yesterday only I gave you an example how my Krishna Guruji will laugh and say something, but even in that he's talking some profound truth, and that is the knowledge that is the real knowledge which he's imparting. So don't even go by what he's saying. Sometimes it is very difficult to understand what your Gurudev is telling. You know why? Many a time he's talking to your stupid mind. He's not talking to you, he's talking to your mind, so that your mind, you know, gets more feed, and he wants to see how your mind is going to react, to what extent your mind is going to play havoc in you, and whether you're able to control that mind or not. So this is how he works. You know, many a time he'll speak to people's mind. That is his way of teaching. See, at the end of the day, the guru's job is only one. He's teaching continuously, 24/7, whether you're awake, whether you're sleeping, whether you're whether you're in Timbuktu, wherever you might be, your lessons are always going to be there. He's going to keep teaching. Whether it doesn't mean you have to be physically present in front of him to get that knowledge. Like I mentioned, the guru is a tattva. It's an essence. It can teach in any form. You can get knowledge in any form, but you just need to be able to recognize that knowledge. And when you have the privilege, so please learn what is he telling. There are certain things he's telling you. Yes, sometimes he will talk directly, sometimes indirectly, sometimes not sometimes, all the time in codices. And to decipher that, it's very difficult. I have to only give my example. Many a time, my Guruji will say something, and I will not even understand what he's saying. And even for the nth time, I would have fallen for what he said. And I'm like, I have got lost. And I wouldn't know that he's testing me. And he will ask me in a very weird manner, then he'll ask me certain questions. And I will, give him spontaneous answers, not knowing my Guruji is testing. And finally, once the test is over, then oh my God, you just tested me, did you? Oh, did I? That's how he'll react. That is very sweet, because he wants to see where you stand. See, when you least expect, remember this, when you least expect, and when you're not even prepared, when you will be caught off guard, and that is when the test will come. And subtly he'll ask you certain things, and you'll very innocently answer. And with that, he'll understand where you stand. So the guru's methods are very unique. He's just talking to your mind. Someone recently, some of my Guruji's disciples were talking to him, and he was saying certain things, and this person literally took it very directly. Of course, what he said is the truth, but it's not what he's inferring. The meaning to that is very different. So the person asked, okay, so Guruji said this, then what is going to happen? I said, do you think you can understand him? Do you think you're understanding what is he saying? Yeah, what he said, of course, is valid, but that is not what he's telling you. You need to cogitate, what is my Guruji telling me? So even for those who have been studying under the Guru for many years, it's not easy to decipher what a Guru is teaching, because please remember, it is codices. You cannot understand the truth with your mind. That is the most important lesson you need to understand. Only when you overcome your mind will you get that. It'll be like the eureka moment. I will say like that, the flash, it's like a tube light is glowing. So you understand. That is how it'll hit you. The knowledge will literally make sense. So you will just feel, oh, this is what my Guruji taught me. You'll have that lamp lighting within you. Otherwise, you're not going to understand. So don't use your mind to understand what your Guru is teaching. Mind is there, yes, for you mind is there so that you can use the mind as a tool to reach God. But with the mind, you can't understand the truth. You can't decipher God. So the knowledge is, the truth is understood within. What is confirming within? The Guru is removing that darkness, that ignorance, and the light is illumining within you. And what is the light about? The light is the knowledge which is rest within you. It's shining from within, so it's confirming, yes, I understand, yes, I understand. When your Guru says everything, you'll nod your head, but till the doubts of your mind is not removed, you're still going to feel, oh, what did he say? Did he say? You're confused, and your mind is going to give you 100 more answers or explanations to the same thing. Please remember, nothing that your mind is trying to tell you at that moment is right and valid. So to understand what your Guruji is teaching itself is a huge effort. I wouldn't even say effort, but you have to first keep your mind aside. You can't use your mind to understand what your Guruji is teaching. And please remember, everybody goes through this. And it takes a lot of years, many years, after which you will understand. And then within your heart, that as your heart is purified, your mind is purified, then the knowledge will shine within itself. That is why we say self-illumination or self-realization. That self will reveal itself slowly, slowly to you. When the divine Lord Almighty is pleased with, when the Parabrahma is pleased, he will reveal himself to you at his own perfect timing. So the right knowledge, the truth will shine at the right time. So coming back on particular days, okay. So Shree Narasimha Saraswati teaches also about the types of food to be taken and those which are prohibited for a Brahmin. Food without a daily oblation, food made with too much salt, garlic, etc. are prohibited. Too much salt, garlic, because garlic is aphrodisiac, and too much salt you should not take. We are not pampering our palate. Then on particular days, some types of food and certain types of vegetables and fruits are to be avoided, like Padaval or on Padyami day, Bhel Fal on Friday. Padval I know, but I don't know what is the English name. I'm sorry, I forgot. Padyami day, I don't know. Again, you have to look at the Panchang. Shani Fal. Okay, I don't even know there's a fruit or I think it's Fal. There's Shani Fal, it says, on Tuesday, etc. A Brahmin should never take Nishiddha food or food touched by a cat, rat, crow, dog, etc. He should not eat food that is stale, etc. Leftover food from the previous day. These impair the sattvic traits and promote rajasic and tamasic tendencies in him. See, one of the reasons, my Guruji will also say that we have to eat always the fresh food. But today, it is the age of Kali Yuga and we are in the Tamasic Yuga. The whole world is eating cold storage food that is left over. It is kept in the fridge for 10 days, I don't know, 1 month, and we eat them. But it is not to be eaten, unfortunately. But today we cannot do anything about it. We are bound to eat such food. But the only thing I can tell you is try to, not keep the food for more than 2 days or 3 days. See, when your Gurudev is there, he will not let anything happen because the Guru is the Parabrahman himself. So the food is Parabrahman himself too. So nothing shall happen to the food. But otherwise, you are not capable of making sure the food is pure, right? It is still stale. Sometimes my Guruji will say, no, this has gone bad, throw it. So we will throw it. We will not question him. Sometimes he will allow us to eat. He'll say, no, this is good. That is only because the Guru is saying so it will be good, not otherwise. When the Guru is saying it is bad, you have to throw it because that is bad. And you need to avoid as much as possible not keeping the food for many days in the refrigerator and eating. So stale food are not to be eaten. You have to only eat fresh foods, whatever that is possible. Why? Because that gives you sattvic guna. That will make you evolve on the path of sattva. The goodness and love, the purity is what you will get. Otherwise, you will become very tamasic. Have you seen people how they're filled with tamas? Why? Because of the lifestyle, the kind of food they eat, the way they live. Everything is only driven to tamas. The more and more you do that, the more tamasic in guna you will become. So, and these impair the sattvic traits. What does it impair? The sattva in you. It is not going to give you that sattvic traits at all and promote rajasic and tamasic tendencies in. And it's actually going to influence, make your tamasic and rajasic tendency become stronger and stronger. Forget about rajasic, it will become more tamas, completely tamas. A Brahmin should nurture and guard his sattvic guna. What should he do? A Brahmin should nurture and guard his sattvic guna, which are necessary and essential for his functioning as the community and the society as a whole. What does sattvic guna have? The reason why we should guard our sattvic guna is because that is full of goodness, purity, love, caring, compassionate, forgiving, all the good things in this world. And that is what is required today in the world for a harmonious living. Because today, even somebody, a stranger, the customer relationship people, they're supposed to be customer relations. They bark like dogs. And we recently went to some exhibition along with my Guruji. There was one lady, they were asking, can you give us your number? Oh, I don't give. The way the response is, she barked and yelled like a dog. So you're actually shooing away the customers. You think you will survive in this world? Goodness is not there. What are you going to be born as? Like a dog in the next life? That is exactly what you're sanctioning yourself. So what does my Guruji teach? It is not for the world to change. We are not here to change her. She, like my Guruji will say, she is not my Guruji's disciple. We are my Guruji's disciple. So we all have to learn. Everybody who has a Guru, we have to learn the good things from the Guru. You have the privilege to be with the Guru. So you cannot represent your Guru in a bad manner. Your Guruji is teaching you all the most beautiful things. Is he teaching you anything bad? Of course not. So why can't we be our good self? This is what my Guruji will tell. You have to be your good self. It doesn't matter how the other person behaves. You be nice, you be good, you show the love, you be compassionate. You understand that is their nature. They're talking like this. Where will they go? Which health will they go? It's very sad to see that. But it is for us to change because we have a Guruji. We are getting this knowledge. We are privileged of this knowledge. How many people in this world can get this knowledge? So you should consider yourself such a lucky being that you have the grace of the God and your Guru. Most important, foremost, you have your Guru. To have a Guru itself is a blessing and it's a boon. I don't know what, like you say, in like Baba says, and every scripture mentions some good merit we have done. Because of whom? Because of that merit, because of those merits that we have earned in many other lives of ours, that we have the privilege to be with the Guru. And the Guru is the greatest thing today. He's saving us. He has a firewall around us. He's always protecting his disciples and devotees by averting all the calamities. And he's wearing himself out for all our sins and absolving everything. So we need to make him proud. We have to live his lessons. We have to become this knowledge ourselves. That is exactly what Bhagavad Gita says. Once my Krishna Guruji was telling, when you live these words of Lord Shri Krishna, then you become that Bhagavad Gita yourself, which is none other than the Krishna himself. How profound is that? Just the words from his mouth literally made me cry like a child. That is the truth. But we have to drive ourselves to live these lessons. It is not easy. That is why the sadhana is so important. Listening to the words of the Guru is so important. We have to go through that process. The spiritual process is very painful, but it's the most beautiful thing. Why? We have to overcome this human nature, the crass human nature and tendencies, and attain the divine nature, which will make us, spread love, goodness, and everything in this world. And you'll feel so beautiful. Nothing will see anything. You will not see pain in anything. On the contrary, you will accept everything. And you're not going to react. On the contrary, you will influence the other person with your love and goodness. They'll say, goodness is contagious, love is contagious. Why can't we become that love and goodness and spread in this world? Spread the fragrance of this divine Lord Almighty, which is your goodness and love. Be that love, be that good self. A Brahmin should nurture and guard his sattvic gunas, which are necessary and essential for his functioning as a community and the society as a whole. In the evening, the Brahmin should perform Sayam Sandhya, that is chanting Gayatri Mantra with 3 oblations of water and uttering Gotra, Pravara and with Upasana. Thereafter, only should he take his night meals. Before retiring to bed, one should read some sacred books, and then after offering the whole day's work as worship done to the Lord, he should go to sleep. Very beautiful. Sorry, let me explain to you this. What does it mean? Before retiring to bed, one should read some sacred books because you have to end your day with the divine thought alone. That knowledge, something you have to gain that day because you're sleeping over that knowledge. So that knowledge will percolate within you. It'll remove all that unwanted thoughts. So you're only going to think about the divine Lord Almighty when you go to the bed. And also, what does it do? And the sorry and then after offering the whole his whole day's work as worship done to the Lord. See, when you accept that I am not working for any company, any bosses, I am working for my divine Lord Almighty. He's the one who's bestowed this job that is there for me, so I am serving him. And then you'll say, Krishna Arpan, thank you for this most wonderful day. I have done my duties, I did my job today. Thank you for my life, thank you for that, my bread and butter. So when you offer everything that you've done to him, please remember, whatever the fruits of that action will come from him alone. Whether you get success or failure, it is none of your business at all. It doesn't even matter to you. And remember, it's mentioned in one of the verses where it says, Lord Shri Krishna is the karma phala data. He is the dispenser of the fruits of the action. It comes from him. There's nobody else who's going to grant that. So when you offer everything to him, whatever that he has to bestow upon you, he will do. Why are you bothered? Yesterday something strange happened. I had to do some presentations and I'm really bad at my PPT. So I was able to do, everybody came up with some jazzy presentations, okay? I only worked on the content, understood what is happening in the industry, and I put forward what I prepared very sincerely. What I went and studied, what are the calls I had, I took people's, help to understand what's happening in the industry, and I gave my inputs. I felt very small. I said, oh my God, I didn't do some jazzy presentation, and also in the slides that I made, there was some discrepancy that came up. The formatting itself, template had some challenge, but given the limitations of the time, I just went and submitted the way it is. And then I came and told my Guruji. I felt small. I could have done better. And then my Guruji said something very nicely. He said, who knows, even in that what you've done, that might, according to you, it might be small, but from that something big might come up. So don't discount anything. You've done your part of the deal, right? You did your work. You went and talked, you got that information, you understood what it is, and you presented it. So it's okay. Leave rest to the divine Lord. Why are you bothered of finding how it has to be or why it has to be? You've done your part, it's okay. Don't think anything is small. You put that effort, you went and did it sincerely. That is what is important. You did not, you did not do a shortcut method to that. You got that information, you worked on it. So that made me very powerful. What he said is very true. There is nothing small, there is nothing menial. We have to only be good in the job that we are doing. It's so important because, like we say, work is worship. So we have to see that God in that work. And we need to give him. See, because we're not serving the bosses. Remember, God is the one who has given us that job. So we have to be very truthful to what we do. That makes me feel very nice. And yesterday I said, wow, thank you, God. I finished. I sincerely had to complete certain things. Yeah, I was falling asleep beyond a point. But I said, no, if I don't keep up my commitment and if I delay, this is not going to do good because I'm setting a bad example. I've committed to somebody that today I will send that information. I had to do some research. But if I don't keep up my word, then how will the word keep up its word? So my Guruji has always said, you have to practice keeping up your word. If you give someone a deadline, if you give someone a commitment, adhere to that commitment. It's extremely important. Your word is what you should stand by. And so I was making that effort. I was falling asleep. I couldn't control for whatever strange reason. But I said, Lord Shri Krishna, please be with me. Guide me through it. I will work on it. And yes, I finished and I went off to bed. I dozed off. And I couldn't get up this morning. But yes, I will overcome that. It's a part of the process, and the process is very beautiful. And I told my Guruji this morning, it felt so nice. It felt, yes, I did it. I was able to do it. And he says, yeah, you have to empower the Lord, divinity within you. What is the knowledge that is not there? Lord rests within you. And you think you don't have the knowledge, but you have to put effort to going and studying, doing something about it. And yesterday he was giving the same lesson. He's saying people just talk, I will do, but go do first. See, the doership is what is missing. What does he say in Bhagavad Gita? The entire Mahabharata war is about what is he teaching? What is Bhagavad Gita? Just do it. Take your, lift your bow and arrow and shoot. Why are you saying I can't do? How it happens, where the knowledge comes from, why are you fearing? And suddenly when this whole exercise came up, I have to finish it in one day. I was wondering, oh my God, where do I get this knowledge? Because this is technical. And I was looking this whole idea from a different perspective. And that is what the grace. And whose knowledge is this? Can I say I want this knowledge? No. Like my Guruji will say, you don't even know A of technical. What do you understand? But that's not what it is. It is about the effort. So you have to get the right people, the experts, to give you that knowledge. And I went to them, and they were very kind and generous enough to give me that understanding. So this is how it works. So you have to put that effort. And when you put that effort, there will be somebody, through some form you will get that knowledge. So why are you thinking you are incapable? So go do, put effort, and you will find. When you seek, you will find. This is the truth. And never ever feel small about yourself. Don't think you're incapable, you're inadequate. Please remember, the divine Lord rests within you. So what is that you're not capable about? But you need to put that effort. That is the whole meaning of ashram. Come and put effort. That is the real meaning of ashram. The word ashram is not understood by anybody. Ashram, come, put effort. The word is within you. That is what is self-empowerment. The empowerment is within you. Nobody can give it from outside. You have to empower yourself. And what is the Guru? The Guru is only the guiding light. He's only going to show you the path. He's going to show you where there are obstacles, and he's going to say, don't go. He's going to warn. He's just going to hold your hand and walk you through that and show you across. But walking, you must do. Putting effort is yours. Guru is only can take you. He can only take the horse to the water. He cannot make the horse drink the water. So you have to drink it. So thereafter only should he take his, that's done. Before retiring to bed, one should read some sacred books, and then after offering his whole day's work as worship done to the Lord, he should go to sleep. And let me tell you, it feels so nice. Then you're not going to feel your job is painful. Oh God, I hate my job. I hate my bosses. I don't like this. I don't like that. That I don't like doesn't come. When you know you're only serving the divine Lord Almighty, He's the one who's put you through. You accept it. And then you start loving it. Loving means when you accept it, when you're working for Lord Shri Krishna, where is the question of I don't like, I hate, I like, I don't like, nothing comes. Then it's just pure love. In love, you will serve Him. You will give your highest, everything that you have, 100% to that job. That is why it is very important to see God in everything. Work is worship. So you're worshipping the one through your work. You're putting your efforts for that Lord. So think like that, and you will become the best in everything that you do. That is what is important. Then Sayana Vidhan, sleeping, is also described. That is regulations. Okay, this is very interesting. It's going to be that is regulations relating to the cot used for sleeping by a Brahmin, etc. The cot should be clean. It should not have been made of jambul wood or tusks of dead elephant. Days for weaving cots are also specified. They are either Sunday, Tuesday or Thursday. When weaving, certain deities are to be remembered. One should sleep with head towards east or south. See, there is a reason why these are all mentioned. Please don't think these are all some nonsensical stuff. The reason it is because you have to then only experience the positive vibe. No, I wouldn't even say vibe, the sattvic, the sattva qualities will be in all of this when you do. You're not, you're not going towards the rajas or tamas. That you're staying completely away. The full atmosphere is full of sattvic qualities. Here it was earlier mentioned, right? Sattvic traits. And from it had these impaired the sattvic traits. The sattvic traits is what you will find. The sattva guna. It will guard your sattva guna. The most important reason for doing all of this is you have to be in the sattva guna, because if you have to attain God realization, there is no other way. To rajas or tamas, you cannot. You have to become a sattvic being. For becoming a sattvic being, you have to follow some of these things. I'm not saying everything. An example, simple example could be, one should sleep with head towards east or south. This one can be followed very simply. In your bedroom, you just can see which is the east or the south, and you can, one should sleep with head towards. So towards east or south. So one of that you can do. Very simple. That these are the basic things you can do so that you can guard your sattva qualities. It is very easy to fall to rajas and tamas. So the reason why this is all mentioned, because we have to attain God realization and become a divine being. That is the goal. We have still not completed this chapter. Oh no, there's only 2 paras. Give me 5 more minutes. I'm sorry to take additional 5 more minutes, and I would like to complete this chapter. The place is prohibited for sleep for a Brahmina, old temples, cremation grounds, at the foot of a tree, near ant hill, near tanks, on food grains, and in a dilapidated house. A Brahmin should not go to bed with wet cloths. He should not go to sleep without a garment. He is not to sleep under the bare sky. A Brahmin should not indulge with his wife when she is in her monthly period, or when she is wearing blue-colored sari. There are injunctions on the wife as to how to conduct herself during her monthly periods and the things and disciplines she should observe. All these are necessary for bodily health as well as for moral and spiritual health. Do you know why all this is mentioned? All these are necessary for bodily health as well as for moral values have gone out of the windows today. Nobody has any moral. So moral values, and for spiritual health, moral and spiritual health, not only of the couple but also for the well-being and welfare of the progeny. All these have been codified by Parashara Rishi in Parasara Smriti. With this chapter ends the Karma Kand section of Shree Guru Charitra. I hope you understand all of this, and if you still have doubts, you can reach out to me. We'll be very happy to give you a detailed explanation. Even otherwise, you can go and read some of our Vedas. There is explanations to that, and you can come back, and we'll be very happy to get my Guruji also giving these explanations. Thus ends the 37th chapter of Shree Guru Charitra, describing Varnashrama Achara Vidhi. Glory to the All-Merciful, the Omnipresent and the Ever-Responsive Gurunath. Thank you for joining Shree Guru Charitra Satsang. Once again, have a wonderful day today. Om Shri Mahaganapate Namaha. Om Shri Gurudev Datta. Om Shri Sachidananda Sadguru Sainath Maharaj Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Digambara Digambara Shripad Vallabha Digambara. Om Shri Krishna Gurunatha Natha Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Devi Durgaya Namaha. Om Shri Krishna Arpanam Namastu. Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum.